and welcome to Sunset News this Thursday evening. As always, we bring you news, community stories, economics, weather, and sports. I am Diana Master. In the news tonight, the controversial Chinese mining company Xinfeng Investments is currently being investigated by the police after the Ministry of Energy and Mines reported them for alleged illegal mining activities. This charge relates to alleged mining operations near Uis in the Erongo region, in an area when Xinfeng only had an exploration license. According to a statement from the Ministry of Mines issued on Tuesday, they have received numerous complaints from the public regarding Xinfeng's illegal mining operations. This forced the Office of the Mining Commissioner to carry out an unexpected inspection at this area on 16 November. The inspection confirmed that mining activities were taking place in areas where only exploration operations were authorized. As a result, the ministry instructed the company to immediately halt all mining operations. Xinfeng's management was summoned to the ministry on December 4th and 5th to explain the situation. During the meeting, the company's directors admitted to carrying out unauthorized mining activities beyond the scope of their exploration license. The Ministry of Mines has opened a case with the Namibian police, who will continue to investigate the matter. In the meantime, punitive measures have been put in place, and the ministry has assured the public that Xinfeng's operations have been halted and will continue to be monitored closely. The ministry assured the public that the incident is being taken seriously and appropriate actions will be taken based on the investigation's findings if any violations are found. Xinfeng had been granted an exploration license for dimension stones, base and rare metals, industrial minerals, and precious metals. However, this license only permits exploration and not mining. Recently, the public has raised concerns about the environmental impact of these operations, including alleged desecration of ancestral graves. The Ministry of Mines addressed these concerns, emphasizing that the public's worries have been heard. The ministry appeals to the public to allow the investigation to be completed. Further information will be provided once the investigation concludes, the statement read. The ministry also encouraged the public to report any similar incidents of abuse related to mineral and energy resource rights. This serves as a warning to all license holders that any misuse of their rights will result in the full force of the law, the ministry added. In our next story, the ongoing leadership dispute between the National Youth Council and the Minister of Youth, Agnes Chongarero, continues to hang in the balance. Judge Shafimana Uitele announced this morning that judgment in the case has been postponed to February 20th, 2025, extending the wait for clarity in a case that has captured national attention. The controversy stems from a chaotic power struggle within the NYC. Days before the term of the existing board was set to expire, Minister Chongarero dismissed the board and appointed a new one, igniting legal and political debate. Critics have questioned the legality of the minister's actions, while supporters argued that the move was necessary to address the alleged inefficiencies. The postponement means that both the dismissed board and the newly appointed board remain in limbo, with the court's eventual decision expected to have far-reaching implications for governance at the NYC and similar institutions. As stakeholders await the court's ruling, tensions surrounding the dispute remain high. The February 2025 decision is anticipated to provide clarity, but for now, uncertainty persists in the leadership of one of Namibia's key youth institutions. This is a developing story, and further updates are expected in the coming months. Now, Kenneth Matomola, CEO of the Namibia Financial Institutions Supervisory Authority, NAMFISA, has been appointed to the Executive Committee of the International Association of Insurance Supervisors, IAIS. His election was confirmed during the IAIS annual general meeting held earlier this month in Cape Town, South Africa. In his new role, Matomola highlighted the need for collaboration among regulators to tackle challenges, harmonize regulatory frameworks, and support initiatives like the African Continental Free Trade Area, AFCFTA, for economic integration. He also emphasized the importance of technological innovation in improving efficiency and accessibility in the insurance sector. Additionally, he called for greater investment in human capital to address skill shortages and navigate industry complexities. Matomola will also serve on the IAIS selection group, responsible for appointing subcommittee chairs and vice chairs. The IAIS is a global standard-setting body representing insurance regulators and supervisors from over 200 jurisdictions, covering 97% of the world's insurance premiums. Established in 1994 and headquartered in Basel, Switzerland, the IAIS promotes fair, safe, and stable insurance markets to protect policyholders and contribute to global financial stability. The IAIS Executive Committee oversees decisions necessary to fulfill the organization's mission as directed by its general meeting. The Ministry of Fisheries is raising concerns about the increasing volumes of bycatch in the Hague, horse mackerel, and pilchard fisheries, with reports suggesting bycatch is being deliberately targeted for economic gain. This was discussed in a recent meeting between the ministry and the fishing industry, and where officials highlighted rising bycatch in the hake and horse mackerel fisheries. The ministry pointed out that hake right holders are landing significant amounts of horse mackerel as bycatch and vice versa. Annalie Hayfien, the ministry's executive director, explained that bycatch refers to fish caught unintentionally but still landed if permitted, with hake, mackerel, and pilchard being the main species involved. The ministry is particularly concerned about the high volume of pilchard bycatch given the ongoing moratorium on pilchards due to their slow recovery. While hake and horse mackerel remain sustainable, excessive bycatch could harm overall fishery health and exceed the total allowable catch (TAC) limits. Hayfien warned that if bycatch levels continue to rise, further punitive measures may be introduced. Key statistics presented by the ministry revealed that the TAC for horse mackerel has decreased over the years, with a reduction planned for the 2025 season. This year alone, total horse mackerel landings were 144,914 metric tons, with bycatch including 16,007 tons of horse mackerel, 12,833 tons of hake, and 12,600 tons of pilchards. The highest pilchard bycatch was recorded by 7,054 metric tons by MVF Commercial. Pilchard bycatch is valued at approximately 100 million Namibian dollars, but the ministry remains cautious about the resource's recovery. For hake, the TAC is set at 154,000 metric tons, with 114,042 tons landed this year and 13,467 tons in bycatch. The ministry is monitoring bycatch levels closely and working with the industry to ensure compliance with regulations. Closing off our top stories, a new landmark report from the Intergovernmental Platform on Biodiversity and Ecosystem Services, IPBES, launched in Windhoek on Wednesday, warns that urgent action is needed to prevent further biodiversity loss and the irreversible collapse of key ecosystem functions. The report emphasizing that transformative change is essential to reverse current trends and protect the planet's natural resources. Compiled over 3 years by over 100 experts from 42 countries, the IPBES assessment, titled The Transformative Change Report, highlights the most conservation efforts to date have focused on reforming systems which have not effectively halted biodiversity decline. It calls for deep shifts in how humanity interacts with nature. The report stresses that delaying action for a decade would double the cost of addressing biodiversity loss. However, immediate action offers significant business and innovation opportunities, potentially unlocking over $10 trillion in value and creating 395 million jobs globally by 2030. The report identifies key drivers of biodiversity loss, including humanity's disconnection from nature, the concentration of wealth and power, and the prioritization of short-term gains. It shows that positive outcomes for economies and ecosystems are possible in less than a decade when diverse groups work together. Despite this, the report highlights a vast financial gap in conservation. While $135 billion is spent annually on biodiversity, $722 billion to $967 billion is needed to sustainably manage ecosystems. The report advocates for transformative actions such as internalizing environmental costs, reforming harmful subsidies, engaging the private sector, and redefining global economic goals to include social, economic, and environmental dimensions. It stresses that collective action is vital and coalitions are more effective than individual efforts. That brings us to the end of our top stories. After the break, we get into our community talk segment.
Santa has a festive surprise for you. Starting 2nd December, unwrap the magic of Christmas with our Advent calendar. Spot the Christmas globes in your favorite newspapers from Monday to Friday. Scan the QR code or WhatsApp hashtag AdventCalendar24 to the Synergy chatbot. Find the Christmas globes on NTV. Or visit our Facebook pages for daily Advent doors from Monday to Saturday. Win daily prizes. Lucky winners will be contacted and Logistics Hub Namibia will deliver your prize. Merry Christmas from Santa and his proud prize sponsors.
Now, Sisana Manje, through his law firm Sisana Manje & Co., announced a fourth donation of $103,000 Namibian to 103 homesteads in Oshikulu village in the Oshikoto region where he grew up. Each homestead will receive $1,000 Namibian to support children's school supplies. Rita Kakelo was there.
Because I grew up in a very poor environment, although not necessarily everybody in that village assisted me to grow, I think it is just better that at some point I also assist directly people of my village, particularly the children, kids, and because many of them, while government has done so well over the last 34 years, many of these kids are undergoing the very same problems I underwent because of poverty. I asked the headman, who turned out to be Konateni's father, to provide me with the list of houses at my village where I grew up. I'm no more there in my own house, but my mother is there. And I was given a list of 103 houses. 103 houses. And I made a commitment that I will make a donation of 103,000. 103,000 to these houses. In other words, each house will be receiving cash, 1,000. 1,000 per house, and this money will be meant for kids in those houses, so that comes January when they go to school, they have shoes, they have school uniforms, and they are not going to.
The US dollar hovered near a two-year peak yesterday after the Federal Reserve signaled a cautious approach to rate cuts in 2025. More on this story as we head into economic news after the break.
As the holiday season draws near, ShopRite and Synergy Chatbot are delivering the Christmas spirit. Welcome at Santa's wish list. Follow the instructions to submit your drawing and letter to Santa. Step 1. Start by drawing a picture for Santa. And when you're done, just jot down a few details about yourself right next to it. Step 2. Scan the QR code and it will open up WhatsApp with a little message that says #ShopRiteSanta. Just send that message to Santa. Or if you like, you can also type #ShopRiteSanta into WhatsApp and send it to the number as indicated. Step 3. Follow the simple steps in the chatbot and submit your name and age, and most excitingly, the present you've picked from the list. Don't forget to include your physical address so Santa can find his way to you. Step 4. Once you've completed the previous steps, snap a photo of your drawing and your letter to Santa to submit your entry.
Now, remember, I'm looking forward to all the wonderful drawings and letters you'll be sending my way. See you soon, and keep spreading that holiday cheer. Ho, ho, ho!
And now getting into our economic news. The US dollar hovered near a two-year peak yesterday after the Federal Reserve signaled a cautious approach to rate cuts in 2025. Fed Chair Jerome Powell emphasized the need for further progress in reducing inflation before more rate reductions could be considered. His comments caused global stocks to drop and the yields to spike. The dollar strength impacted several currencies, including the Swiss franc, Canadian dollar, and South Korean won, which hit milestone lows in early Asian trading. The rand and the Namibian dollar also fell sharply, reaching 18 rand 37 cents to the US dollar, the weakest level since August, before recovering slightly to 18 rand and 28 cents. Nick Rees, a senior market analyst at Monex Europe, described the Federal Open Market Committee's decision as the beginning of an extended pause, with US rates likely to remain steady through at least mid-2025. This outlook, he said, could support further dollar gains in the coming months. Other currencies saw significant declines, with the Swiss franc hitting a 5-month low, the Canadian dollar dropping to a 4-year low, and the won reaching its weakest level in 15 years. The Australian and New Zealand dollars also fell to multi-year lows, with the Kiwi further pressured by data showing New Zealand entered a recession in the third quarter. The US dollar index stabilized at 108.05, close to two-year high of 108.27. Sterling remained near a three-week low, while the euro edged up slightly after a steep drop. The Japanese yen also weakened following the Bank of Japan's decision to hold interest rates steady. Analysts noted that the Bank of Japan is walking a fine line between curbing yen weakness and avoiding shocks to global markets. The Fed's cautious stance on rate cuts is expected to maintain a wide interest rate gap between the US and Japan, keeping the yen under pressure for the foreseeable future. Now let's take a look at the economic indicators. The Namibian dollar trades at 22.92 to the British pound, 19.09 to the euro, 18.09 to the US dollar, and to Namibian dollars and 50 cents buys you 1 Chinese yuan. Gold and platinum took dips of 0.37 and 1.43% respectively, while copper and Brent crude oil are on an upturn of 0.34 and 0.45% respectively. Ghana's Supreme Court has dismissed two separate challenges to the country's controversial anti-LGBT bill, paving the way for President Nana Akufo-Addo to sign it into law. Stay tuned as we shift gears and take you across the globe with the latest in international headlines right after the break.
Connection. It's in the human touch, the feeling of belonging. It inspires us and empowers us, creates clarity from complexity. It starts new conversations, unlocks the power of advice, and makes an impact on your life. At Alex Forbes, we pioneer insight to provide you with advice that connects your decisions of today to your impact tomorrow.
Starting off our international news, Ghana's Supreme Court has dismissed two separate challenges to the country's controversial anti-LGBT bill, paving the way for President Nana Akufo-Addo to sign it into law. The decision made on Wednesday removes the legal hurdles that had delayed the bill, which was approved by Parliament in February. The bill, one of the most restrictive of its kind in Africa, seeks to increase penalties for LGBT people and anyone promoting non-conventional sexual or gender identities. It also imposes a new criminal charge, including up to 5 years in prison for promoting or supporting LGBTQ+ activities. Under current laws, gay sex is already punishable by up to 3 years in prison. The two legal challenges were filed by lawyers Amanda Odoi and Richard Sky, who sought to declare the bill illegal and prevent the president from signing it. However, the Supreme Court, led by Justice Avril Lovelace Johnson, ruled that the cases were premature as the bill had not yet been signed into law. Until there's presidential assent, there is no act, she explained, and the court unanimously dismissed the cases. The ruling has sparked disappointment among the challengers, with their lawyers stating they would consider their next steps after reviewing the full judgment. A coalition of Christian, Muslim, and traditional leaders had sponsored the legislation, despite warnings from Ghana's finance ministry that it could risk $3.8 billion in World Bank financing and a $3 billion loan package from the International Monetary Fund, which is crucial for Ghana's economic recovery. Human rights advocates, however, have expressed concerns about the impact the bill could have. Abena Takiwa Manu, a senior fellow at the Center for Democratic Governance in Accra, said the ruling could endanger the lives of LGBT individuals and human rights defenders in the country. Now, in a case that has caught widespread attention and international attention, a French court has found Dominique Pellicot, the ex-husband of Giselle Pellicot, guilty of orchestrating the drugging and raping of his wife for nearly a decade. The case, which has made international headlines, has turned Giselle Pellicot into a feminist symbol for her courage in confronting her abusers. On Thursday, a panel of 5 judges in Avignon convicted the 72-year-old Dominique of aggravated rape. He was sentenced to 20 years in prison, the maximum term. During the 3-month trial, Pellicot admitted to drugging his wife and allowing up to 50 co-defendants to abuse her, filming the assaults in the process. Almost all of the co-defendants were accused of raping Giselle. Some acknowledged their actions, while others claimed the sex was consensual. The court delivered its verdicts one by one, with the lead judge, Roger Arata, announcing the guilty charges for each defendant. A cheer erupted from supporters of the victim when the verdicts were announced outside the court. Dominique Pellicot will not be eligible for parole until he has served at least 2/3 of his sentence. Throughout the trial, Giselle waived her right to anonymity, demanding that the horrific videos filmed by her ex-husband be shown in court. She testified that she had nothing to be ashamed of and that the abusers were the ones who should be ashamed. Giselle's bravery has made her a symbol of strength for women facing similar abuse. She expressed that she wanted other rape victims to feel empowered by her actions. The trial has deeply affected France, and Pellicot's story has sparked a nationwide conversation about sexual violence and victim empowerment. At the court, Giselle's children, David, Caroline, and Florian, joined their mother to hear the verdicts. Throughout the proceedings, she chose to use her maiden name, though she asked the media to refer to her by her married name for the sake of the trial. Now let's take a look at the weather predictions. Katima Mulilo can expect showers and maximum temperatures of 32 degrees Celsius and minimum temperatures of 21 degrees Celsius. Here in Windhoek, maximum temperatures are expected to hit as high as 34 degrees Celsius and to drop to as low as 20 degrees Celsius. Over at the coast, Swakopmund can expect maximum temperatures of 16 degrees and not much of a difference in the minimum temperatures as they're expected to hit 15 degrees Celsius. At Yamsplay is bright and sunny. Maximum temperatures of 38 degrees Celsius are to be expected and minimum temperatures of 21 degrees Celsius are to be expected. Stay with us after the break. We take a look at the news headlining the world of sport.
Explore the beauty of Namibia with our car rentals. From wide open spaces to the plains of Namibia's national parks, enjoy the freedom of the open road. Go anywhere you want, whenever you want. We've got you covered, even in the most remote locations. Visit our website and see what we have to offer.
I'm sure you've heard the news, and Namibia is calling. And it's time to answer with a smile. From the rolling sand dunes of Sossusvlei to the wildlife wonders of Etosha National Park, Namibia is a treasure trove of natural beauty and adventure. With Enjoy, booking the most renowned lodges is as easy as a desert breeze. Picture yourself sipping coffee on a deck, watching the sunrise. Paint the sky in hues of gold and orange. Or how about a thrilling safari, capturing memories that'll last a lifetime? Our easy-to-use website hosts the most beautiful lodges Namibia has to offer. Whether you crave luxury or a cozy hideaway, we've got you covered. So pack your bags and let's turn your dream adventure into reality. Namibia awaits, and with Enjoy, your perfect stay is just a click away.
Now, in a remarkable display of corporate social responsibility, Sisa Namandje & Co. law firm has announced donations amounting to $530 Namibian directed at uplifting Namibian sports and community development initiatives. The announcement made earlier today highlights the firm's commitment to fostering talent, empowering communities, and supporting grassroots development. The donations are set to benefit the Namibia Football Association, the Sisa Namandje Foundation, and a northern-based soccer club. The largest portion of the donation, $300,000 Namibian, is earmarked for the Namibia Football Association. This funding will be distributed in installments, with the first $100,000 Namibian scheduled for release in January of 2025. The sponsorship is expected to significantly bolster the NFA's efforts in supporting football development across the country. With challenges often stemming from limited resources, this financial injection will provide much-needed support to programs aimed at nurturing young talent and enhancing the sports infrastructure. The second donation, valued at $100,000 Namibian, will be directed to the Sisa Namandje Foundation, a charitable organization known for its impactful work in education, health, and poverty alleviation. The foundation has been instrumental in uplifting underprivileged communities across Namibia, and this funding is expected to further its mission of creating lasting change. The final allocation of $10,000 Namibian will benefit the Oshikunino Soccer Club, a northern-based team, to purchase soccer kits. While the amount may be smaller in comparison, it underscores the law firm's commitment to supporting grassroots sports and ensuring that teams in underdeserved regions have the necessary equipment to compete and to grow. In some more local sports news, the Namibia Rugby Union NRU is setting its sights on securing a spot in the 2027 Rugby World Cup in Australia, with a busy year ahead of the national team. While some remain skeptical about the country's chances, the NRU is confident and has already set plans in motion to ensure qualification. One key part of the strategy is the MTC Regional 15s competition, which will serve as an important platform to assess and develop players ahead of the Africa Cup qualifiers in Uganda from July 10th to 24th of 2024. 2025. The tournament will take place at 3 stages: Windhoek on February 28th, Walvis Bay on March 1st, and back in Windhoek on March 8th. Christian van Vogel, NRU Vice President for Governance, stressed that this competition, which was last seen 15 years ago, is designed to bridge the gap between club-level rugby and international competition. It will feature players from 9 Premier League clubs, as well as a 4th team of under 20 players, divided into 3 regional teams. In addition to the regional 15s, the NRU is also focused on improving the fitness and conditioning of local players. CEO John Haynes explained that while the fitness levels of club players have improved since 2022, they still have work to do to match the standards of international competition. The rugby calendar is packed, with the club leagues kicking off on March 15th. The Volviches are also set for a series of friendlies, including matches in South Africa against top teams like the Stormers, Sharks or Lions in June. Namibia will also host games against the Blue Bulls in Swakopmund and Windhoek in June. The second edition of the Yongo Sevens tournament will take place in Luderitz on August 23rd, Walvis Bay on September 27th, and Windhoek on October 24th to 25th. In addition, school rugby will feature predominantly, with NSSR Schools League quarterfinals scheduled for August 22 to 23rd, semi-finals on August 29th to 30th, and finals in early September. And with that, we have come to the end of the broadcast. Make sure you join Sunset News on Facebook and all the NMH platforms on weekdays, as well as on our website, 102.com. Sunset News screens on DSTV channel 285 and GoTV channel 25 every weekday from 7:30 to 8 p.m. I am Diana Master, and this has been Sunset News. Don't end your day without us.